All right, today we're going to be looking at transformations of graphs. This is a set of notes that you want to use to describe the transformation of graphs. So we have y equals, and this is just the function notation given here. And we're going to be looking at the transformation when we involve the letter A, this letter B, the letter H, and the letter K. So what you want to do is just kind of pause the video. You'll get this section here, okay, and then I'm going to move it up to describe the A and B parts, and you'll get these, and then all you need to do is pause the video here, and then you can get these parts. Now, this is also listed for you in the course, in the textbook, and in the video section, which I'm going to show you here. So if I first, let me go to the textbook. So this is the assignment. Go textbook here, and it describes what each one does individually, but we're going to go to page 261. So I'm just going to go over. That's the vertical shift up, down, and you can kind of see all of those things being explained in great detail. However, this is an overall overview. So this is pretty much similar to what I'm doing. They use A twice for the outside and the inside. I feel like that can be confusing, so I like using B. And I also use absolute value to kind of help describe this portion right here when you're between 0 and 1 and when you're greater than 1. Because they need to make that distinction. So that's a little bit of the difference you'll see here. So you can get that similar information in the textbook. Also, in Blackboard in our course, if you go to the videos, in chapter 2 videos, there's 2 parent functions. If you go to the parent function plus, which has all the trig and everything else, if you go to the very end of this document, let me scroll down a little bit more. Go to the very end of this document, you get another, and this is pretty close to what I'm doing as well. Notice in this function, h is negative. So if you had a positive h moves it right, but when you plug it in the function, it makes it look like you actually have a negative h. So my directions describe what you see, not the actual value of h, as if you extracted it out. So if you plugged in a negative, you would see a positive here and it have the opposite effect. Okay, so the textbook describes it in that way. So if you see a negative here, okay, which means we plugged in a positive, positive goes right. But if you see a negative here, the way the book explains it is that when you see right here this minus h, you're going to move right, because that's what's going to happen. But you seeing a minus, you think you want to go left, it's going to be the opposite. And then when you see plus h, it's actually going to move left. And that's the same way I describe it in the notes. I feel like it is less confusing describing it based on what you see. So that's going back to this portion up here. What you see is negative, and that's going to go right because you actually plugged in a positive. So those are saying the same thing. It could be confusing, but that's the difference here and here. You kind of get that. Okay, so if you have these notes, we're going to be going back and forth to them multiple times throughout the assignment. So once you get those, join me on the next one. We're going to be working the assignment out.